What's up, Yarny Box Crocheters? Today we're making Sammy the Bald Eagle. He is perfect for the 4th of July. If you don't already have your Sammy the Bald Eagle kit, you can head to yarnybox.com and pick up yours today. In your Yarny Box kit, you'll find that the magic ring is already started for you. This is so that we can start off the project nice and easy and you don't have to worry about a complicated beginning. This is the very first round of the project. Here you'll see I'm pointing out the little V's. These are actually stitches, so you should be able to go around the circle and count 6 stitches or 6 V's. The stitches are what you're going to be working into in the next round in order to build on your project. You'll also find 2 stitch markers. This blue one here is marking the very first stitch of the round. That's where we're going to place the first stitch of the next round. The green stitch marker is marking the loop in which you're going to place your crochet hook to start working. You can see here that you can actually tighten and loosen this loop by pulling on the string that's attached to the ball of yarn. There are 2 different ways in which you can hold your crochet hook. This first way is like a knife. The second way is like a pencil. I personally find the pencil hold a little bit easier, but it's up to you. You can play around and hold your crochet hook however you'd like. Next, you're going to take the yarn that's attached to the ball of yarn and wrap it a couple times around your finger. And then I like to pinch the magic ring with my middle finger and thumb like this. Again, this is just how I like to work on my projects, but as you go along, you can play with how you want to hold everything. So you can remove the green stitch marker and pop in your crochet hook into that loop. You're going to want to tighten the loop to make it so that it's pretty tight on the crochet hook. Don't make it so tight that you can't move the crochet hook, but you definitely don't want it to be too loose. Something like this is appropriate. The trickiest part about learning how to crochet is learning how to hold everything in your hands. I definitely recommend rewatching the beginning of this video until you get the hang of holding everything. And if you accidentally undo your magic ring, I have a tutorial linked down below of how to redo that. So let's get started on round 2. We're going to start off by removing the blue stitch marker. You can pull on it a little bit and you'll find a little hole. That's exactly where we're going to be inserting our hook into to make the very first stitch of round 2. So once you pop out your stitch marker, you're going to insert your hook exactly where the stitch marker was. Before we insert a hook, I just want to make sure that you're holding your hook properly. So you want to make sure it's parallel to your body and make sure the hook is facing downwards. That's going to make it a lot easier to guide the yarn in and out of each stitch. So pop your hook into the stitch. Again, it looks like a V, so now you should have 3 little loops on your hook. Next, we are going to yarn over, which means we're grabbing the yarn with our crochet hook like this, and we are gliding the yarn through the first 2 little loops on our hook like so. And now we're going to do that again, so yarn over and pull the yarn through the 2 loops on your hook. This is called a single crochet. This is the first stitch of the round. Our next stitch is going in the exact same stitch that we were just in. So this stitch and not this stitch. We're going in the same hole that we were just in. So insert your hook into that little V, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops like so. Now you have 2 loops left on your hook, so yarn over and pull through those 2 remaining loops. What we just did is called an increase because we popped 2 stitches into 1 stitch. Now you're going to count down 2 stitches away from the loop or the first stitch that we made, and you're going to mark it with a stitch marker. Next, we're going to make another single crochet in the next available stitch. So that's going to be this one here. Pop in your hook. There's 3 loops on your hook now. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. And then yarn over again and pull through those second 2 loops. That was 1 single crochet. Now we're going to make our second single crochet in the same exact hole. So in the same place we just were, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over again, pull through the second 2 loops. Again, this is called an increase because we placed 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. So now we have 4 new stitches, but we've only worked into 2 stitches from the previous round. So here I'm just pointing out with my thumb the 4 new stitches that we've done. Carrying on to the next stitch, we are going to make a single crochet, and now we're going to make a second single crochet in the exact same hole. Moving on to the next stitch. Again, here's your first single crochet, and here's your second single crochet in the same stitch. Again, popping your first single crochet in there and your second single crochet. And now we're moving on to the very last stitch of the round. 1 single crochet and 2 single crochets. That completes round 2. So because we placed 2 single crochets in each of the stitches of the previous round, we now have 12 little V's or 12 stitches in this round. So you should be able to go around and count 12 stitches. Moving on to round 3, you can remove your stitch marker, and we are going to be placing an increase in every other stitch around this time. So we're going to start off by placing 1 single crochet in the same stitch where our stitch marker was. This is the first stitch of the round. So 1 single crochet here, and then we are going to stop and mark this stitch. So we last did a single crochet here, and now we are going to do an increase, then single crochet, then increase. So increasing in every other stitch around. So you can reinsert your hook, and we are going to place an increase in the next available stitch. Again, that is 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And then single crochet, and then increase. Single crochet, and then increase. Again, it's single crochet, then increase, and single crochet, then increase. Last one, single crochet, and then increase. And now you should be back at your stitch marker, and you should have 18 stitches in the circle. So you can go around and count 18 little stitches if you want. And moving on to round 4, we are increasing in every 3rd stitch for this round. So we're going to start off with a single crochet, and then mark that stitch. So we just did a single crochet, and then we'll do another one and then an increase. So make a single crochet in the next available stitch, and then make an increase in that 3rd stitch. And single crochet, and increase. Single crochet, then increase. And just keep following this pattern until you get back to the stitch marker. You should have 24 stitches at the end of this round. We're coming up on the last few stitches of the round here. This is the last increase. So you should be able to go around the circle and count 24 stitches. For round 5, we are going to be increasing in every 4th stitch, and this is our last round of increasing. So make your first single crochet of the round and then mark that stitch. Now we are going to be doing another single crochet and another single crochet, and then make an increase. Single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, then increase. And again, single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, then increase. And just keep repeating this pattern until you get back to the stitch marker. We're going to have 30 stitches at the end of this round. We're coming up on the last few stitches here, making our last increase. And you can see here we now have 30 stitches, and this is our last round of increasing. You should be able to go around and count 30 stitches. For round 6, we are just going to be doing one single crochet in each stitch around. So no more increasing. Make your first stitch of the round and then mark that stitch. And now we are just placing one single crochet in each stitch around the circle. We will still have 30 single crochets or 30 stitches at the end of this round. So we're coming up on the last couple stitches here, and now you can see the top of the head is starting to take form. For the next 3 rounds, we are going to be doing the exact same thing, just placing one single crochet in each stitch around. So we're on round 7 now, and don't forget to mark the first stitch of your round. I'm going to speed up these next few rounds here, and I will meet you back once you've done 3 more rounds of 30 single crochets in white. At the very end of round 9, we are going to be switching colors, so I will meet you back before that happens. So we're coming up on the last few stitches of round 9. This is our last round in white, so before we get to the very last stitch of the round, we are going to pause and change colors. So that's the second round stitch. This is the last stitch of round 9. We are only doing half of a single crochet. So pause once you get halfway through that single crochet. You should have 2 loops on your hook. And now we're going to grab the brown yarn and thread it through. You just pulled the brown yarn through the 2 white loops on your hook, and that completes the single crochet. We're going to secure the brown yarn on better in just a second, but I'm going to finish this off by making the first stitch of the next round. So it's just a single crochet in brown in the next available white stitch. And now I'm going to tie the white and brown yarn together. Don't pull too tightly here or else you'll lose your brown stitch. So I'm going to make a double knot and then we can mark that brown stitch. The brown stitch is the first stitch of round 10. So now you can trim the white yarn, and before we continue on to the rest of the eagle's body, we are going to weave in our end. Flip your eagle head inside out, and then that center tail piece is what we're going to be weaving in. So grab your yarn needle from your Yarny Box kit, and then you can thread the tail onto the needle. I like to fold my piece of yarn in half and kind of squish it on the needle. And then you are just taking the needle and going in and out of random stitches in the head, just 1 stitch apart to make sure that the end doesn't come undone. So as you can see, I'm just going back and forth, different stitches in the head. And this is just going to secure the tail. Now that that's done, we can continue on the rest of the body. So for the next 6 rounds, rounds 10 to 15, we are doing the exact same thing that we just did, which is just a single crochet in each stitch around. And we're going to have 30 stitches at the end of each one of these rounds. So again, I'm going to speed up the camera, but for the next 6 rounds, just do 1 single crochet in each stitch. And I'll meet you back once we are on to round 16. Now we are going to pop in our eyes for our eagle, so grab the safety eyes out of your Yarny Box kit. And we are going to place them in between rounds 7 and 8. So count down 7 rounds from the top. So right in here, we are just going to pop them in. And make sure they're on the opposite side of your stitch marker so that the color change is on the back side of the eagle. I like to do mine about 3 stitches apart, but you can kind of play around with your placement and decide where you want the eyes to be. Once you're happy with the placement, you can pop on the backs. The backs are just little washer pieces that click on. So we can continue on to round 16. This is going to be our first round of decreasing. So make your first single crochet of the round and then mark that stitch. And then do another single crochet, and now we are going to decrease. Here you can see that there are 2 loops to each stitch. So this is the back loop and this is the front loop. For our decrease, we are going in the front loop only. So insert your crochet hook in the front loops of the next 2 stitches. You should have 3 loops on your hook now. And then you're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Yarn over again and pull through 2 loops. And then single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and decrease. So again, front loops only of the next 2 stitches. Back loops are there, and then complete the decrease. Single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, then decrease. Single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, then decrease. Just keep following this pattern until you get back to the stitch marker. We're going to have 24 stitches at the end of this round. So your eagle body is almost finished. You can see it's curving in on itself, and we are almost finished. So for round 17, we are going to start off by a single crochet and then mark that stitch. And then make another single crochet, then decrease. So single crochet, then decrease. Single crochet, then decrease. Just keep following this pattern until we get back to the stitch marker. We're going to have 18 stitches at the end of this round. So we're coming up on the last decrease of the round here. And before we continue decreasing, I'm going to grab some stuffing and start stuffing the eagle. Be sure to pull the stuffing apart a little bit before you start stuffing. And as you're putting it into the eagle, make sure you're really rounding out the head and making sure that the stuffing isn't all clumped together. Don't overstuff your eagle at this point because we still need to finish up the rounds. We can always add a little bit more stuffing as we keep going. So for round 18, we are going to start off by a single crochet. And then we are going to mark that stitch. And next we are going to do a decrease. Then single crochet, decrease. Single crochet, and decrease. Single crochet, decrease. Just keep following that pattern until you get back to the stitch marker. We're going to have 12 stitches at the end of this round. For the very last round, we are just decreasing in every single stitch. So make your first decrease and then mark that stitch. And just continue decreasing until you get back to the stitch marker. We're going to have 6 stitches at the end of this round. So to finish off your eagle, I'm going to finish it with a slip stitch. That just means you are inserting your hook in the next available stitch, yarning over and pulling through all the loops on your hook like so. And that just gives a nice clean finish. And now you can cut your yarn. I'm going to leave about 10 inches and pull the yarn through the loop, and that's going to secure your end. And you can pop in a bit more stuffing in the bottom if you'd like. The last step here is closing up that tiny little hole in the bottom, so grab your yarn needle and thread it on, and then insert your yarn needle into the front loop of each stitch in this circle. This is going to create a drawstring effect, and then you can just pull the hole shut. And then you can weave in your end, so just weaving it in back and forth. And then you can trim off that piece, and we are done with the body. In part 2, I'll show you how to finish off the eagle by making the wings, feet, and beak.